2018 UIM F1 H2O World Powerboat Championship came to a thrilling climax in the Grand Prix of Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates as three drivers, all from the same team, fought it out on the Khalid Lagoon to see which one of them would win their first ever World Championship title in F1 H2O. Sharjah is a unique emirate in the UAE with a very different feel to the razzle and dazzle, hustle and bustle of neighboring sheikdoms. This is a place that puts tradition, heritage and culture foremost on its agenda, a city that reflects the rich Arabian Islamic influence that has shaped Sharjah, evident in the multifaceted and diverse architectural gems that the city has to offer, spanning various cultures and geographies, and a history that goes back millennia, about which more is being discovered every year. Sharjah has an intimate and close relationship to the surrounding environment, from long stretches of gorgeous sandy beaches to the pristine and beautiful desert and wildlife just a drive away, all of which hold pride of place in local Sharjah culture and is an integral part of their lifestyle. The F1 H2O and F4 Grand Prix are run alongside the UIM ABP Aquabike Grand Prix, the Khalid Lagoon transforming into the epicenter of an adrenaline-packed weekend of sports, culture, festivities, and racing. Fans and locals can get a first-hand experience of the incredible thrill and G-forces of riding in an F1 boat in the F1 H2O two-seater. Now let's take a look at what happened in the previous round. At the Grand Prix of Abu Dhabi in round 6, Sean Torrente was atop the world standings going in and was looking to clinch the championship, but Eric Stark took pole position in BRM official qualifying, suddenly increasing his chances at the title. Then Stark had a poor start to the race as his Team Abu Dhabi teammate Dani Al-Kamzi shot into the lead on the first lap, with Peter Marin of CTI CF1 Shenzhen China team hot on his tail in second, Eric Stark dropping to third but holding point until lap 29 when his engine let go, forcing Stark to retire and dealing a huge blow to his world title chances in Sharjah. Sami Celio shot up from 10th to move into 3rd after Stark's exit, with Torrente holding on to 6th after a poor qualifying run, knowing every point counted. Al-Kamzi closed out a historic win, the first Abu Dhabi driver to win a home Grand Prix, Peter Marin with his best ever result in runner-up, and Celio back on the podium. Torrente's 6th place finish meant he held a slim 3-point advantage atop the world standings over his teammate Al-Kamzi going into Sharjah, with Stark dropping to 3rd and 12 points behind, with a maximum 20 points up for grabs at the last Grand Prix, where one of the 3 teammates would win their first ever world title. It all comes down to the final race. 19 drivers and 9 teams, with each racer wanting to close the season out on a high. This was promising to be the toughest, most competitive race of the year. But only 3 drivers had a shot at the ultimate title, all of whom were on the same team and vying for their first ever world title. Sean Torrente, Dani Al-Kamzi, and Eric Stark. Team manager Guido Cappellini is all smiles, the only one on the team who has already won before even knowing the outcome.
Fortunately, the stress is not too much, not just because it's the final world champion, but because one of my 3 driver possible win. Just one of my 3.
Sean Torrente leads the world standings, but he knows he has no room for error if he's to win that world title that he's come so close to winning season after season over the last 11 years.
To win this championship would be a huge deal for me. We've had this conversation for over the last 6 years, I think, and so to finish it off would be amazing. I've worked really hard, the team's worked really hard. I've made a lot of personal sacrifices this year with time and my training and things like that I feel like I'm in the best position ever, so I just can't wait to get out there and get it done. We've been waiting for 2 days and it's killing me.
Daniel Kamzi has been world number 2, but has never won the world title after 18 years on the tour, and he knows he may not get many more chances like this. Now he has to take the next step, a very big step, for the world title.
We have 3 boats here, everyone looking for first. He's for me the world champion now, almost 17 years. I try it many years. Sometimes you have bad luck, but this year I try it very hard, and I want it like my wife.
Eric Stark is the newest addition to the F1 H2O Tour, and he's already proven that he's championship material after remarkably starting the year with no team, joining Team Maverick at the last second in round 1, and then taking the win in round 2. His performance caught Guido Cappellini's attention, and since joining Team Abu Dhabi, he's continued his upward graph with another Grand Prix win and 2 podiums in 2018.
Started with powerboat racing when I was 12, and this, like, I couldn't even dream about Formula One. Now I'm like fighting for the championship. So, you know, it's the biggest you can do in powerboat. So of course, I want it this year.
The most successful non-Team Abu Dhabi driver of the year has been one of the newest additions to the tour, Peter Marin of CTIC F1 Shenzhen, China. His consistent points finish in every race, along with 2 podium results in 2018, means he could even be on the year-end podium if things go his way in Sharjah. The dark horse that could shake things up here is Team Amoravati's 5-time Grand Prix winner Jonas Andersson, always a danger. He had a huge crash in morning practice, but his team have worked hard to get him race ready.
Hopefully the boat is okay. It was just small damage and it's repaired. Now we're gonna put it in the water and see if the engine is okay. Otherwise we put a new one for the qualifying.
The Grand Prix of Sharjah circuit on Khalid Lagoon features 5 left turns with no right-handers this year, a technical course on flat, sticky water, tough to pass on. The big trick to this race would be prop selection.
This course is a little bit tricky to decide the start prop, because we have a very long and quick course, but then the length of the start is quite short. So, and then we're turning a lot, so you need the power like out from the first buoy. So it's difficult to know how big you're gonna go or how small. So
there's 1,000 kind of props. That's the problem. There's 1,000 kinds. So you have short, you have medium, you have long, yes, but you also have how it affects the boat. When you're running in crappy water compared to good water, compared to crosswind, compared to, just if you're going into it and out of it. There's so many different things on a propeller, how it lifts the back of the boat, how it holds the front of the boat. Today, knowing my situation, I just look for the best handling and best starting propeller. The first step to success is the BRM official qualifying, where the aim is to get a good starting position on the pontoon as 19 drivers battle it out over 3 sessions for pole position. In Q1, 2 drivers never made it out on the water, Duarte Benavente of F1 Atlantic Team and Ahmed Al-Hamli of Victory Team. Cedric De Guin had major engine problems as he and his teammate Sutipan Sukbongbon were out in Q1, while Jonas Andersson had a late surge to bump out the struggling Philipp Schiapp, who's been plagued with engine issues. The 3-time world champion unceremoniously knocked out in Q1, while 12-time Grand Prix winner Francesco Cantando just made it through in 12th position. Also unable to make it into Q2 were Cantando's teammates Simone Schuft and F1 Atlantic driver Grant Trask. In Q2, 12 drivers vied for the 6 Q3 spots, and the racing was intense. Emirates racing driver Bartek Marszalek broke down at the end of Q1 and was unable to get laps in Q2, while his teammate Marit Stromoy was unable to find the speed she needed for a repeat Q3 showing.
Today has been just a disaster. Now, first my best engine is finished. This second engine is a second slower, and now it didn't start. So.
Jonas Andersson made the top 6, however, while his Team Amaravati teammate Eric Eden was out, as was Francesco Cantando. Grand Prix of Abu Dhabi podium placers Peter Marin and Sami Celio were flying out there, continuing their fine form from last round as they finished 1st and 2nd in Q2, with Eric Stark 3rd. But Stark's teammates Al Kamzi and world standings leader Sean Torrente were struggling. Torrente pulled into the pontoon while placed precariously in 6th, taking care of a battery issue to get back out there, but just minutes to the end of the session, his teammate Al-Khamzi shot up into 5th, bumping Torrente out of the top 6. It was already looking like it would be an uphill battle for the American.
I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I was going down the front straightaway, and the dash went blank, and I lost power steering, and I knew there was a big problem.
In Q3, 6 boats left with 2 laps apiece, and Alex Carella went out first, laying down a good lap time, 46.55. Dani Al-Khamzi knew the importance of taking pole position, especially with Torrente starting back in 7th, but he was unable to capitalize, making do with a time of 46.63. Jonas Andersson, who just hours ago was literally flying upside down and nearly sinking, went out for a miraculous run and shocked the crowds as he took provisional pole. What a team performance for Team Amravati.
It was what we can do today because we swam this morning and it destroyed the day. So.
Eric Stark, who has shown himself to be a master of qualifying, seeking to repeat his pole position performance from Abu Dhabi, was exceptional out there. What a lap time, 45.61. Stark takes provisional pole from Andersson with 2 drivers left. Sami Celio was brilliant, but unable to beat Andersson and Stark, and the last man out, Peter Marin, also proved unable to beat Stark's time. Eric Stark takes the pole position for the Grand Prix of Sharjah, his 5th pole position win, and that gives him a huge advantage as his 2 world title rivals start in 6th and 7th on the pontoon. This was going to be a massive battle.
This is amazing. It's, what can I say, like, it's a chance to win the championship, but I can't control it. The only thing I can do is try to win the race, and I'm going to do it, try at least, and then we see if someone helps me from above.
The final qualifying results: Andersson on P2, Celio 3, Peter Marin 4th, then Carella and Al-Khamzi in the top 6. The field would be divided by a demarcation buoy at the start between the 6th and 7th positions, adding a further obstacle for Torrente in 7th. The 7th and final race of the year, the Grand Prix of Sharjah, and one of 3 drivers would win their first ever world title. Defending world champion Alex Carella was starting in 5th.
It's not the best place today for sure, but okay. First time in the last race I can start in the top 5, so I will do my race and that's it. I will try to get a podium today.
With the world team title already in the bag, team manager Guido Capellini was cool as ice. But for the Team Abu Dhabi drivers, nerves were taut, knowing that their biggest rivals out there would be their own teammates.
I was just practicing start this morning. You know, the speed is, for me, not so important for this race. I just need to be first in the first buoy and then, you know, try to take it from there. So a lot of starts this morning.
Torrente, starting back in 7th and on the wrong side of the demarcation buoy, had the cards stacked against him.
You try to tell yourself it's just another race, right? Same old deal. Get a good start, drive good, and the rest will take care of itself. So that's what you try to tell yourself anyways. And you keep telling yourself that, and hopefully it'll just start off the dock, and then from there we'll be okay.
The starting lineup: Dani Al-Khamzi in 5th will have some of the heaviest hitters to get through up to Stark. Carella in 5th, then Marin 4th, Celio in 3rd, and Andersson in P2. A veritable wall of drivers, and behind all that would be Torrente. Brahms up in 9th, Cantando, then Stromoy, Eden all the way down in 15th, and Grant Trask bringing up the rear. It was all on the line and everything to race for out there as final preparations were completed and drivers were ready for the race of their lives. The final moments before the ultimate battle of 2018 begins, the calm before the storm. And it's on. Philip Brahms jump starts off the pontoon. Good start from Eric Stark. Next to him is Jonas Andersson. The 2 Swedes leading the field down the starting straightaway to the commitment buoys as Stark pulls ahead. Cedric De Guin falls behind his teammate Suk Bongbon, with Eric Eden also flying past the Frenchman to his starboard. But Jonas Andersson has some incredible speed as the Team Amravati ace edges past Stark, but Stark holding inside lane advantage for that crucial first turn of the race. Also great starts from Daniel Kamzi and Sean Torrente, who is first to the demarcation buoy. The Swedes leave Sami Celio behind in third, and then Peter Marin surges past the Finn from P4. Stark picks up the pace and reclaims the lead as they enter the turn. Alkamzi brilliant on the outside, now up in third. Torrente also charging up from 7th, trying to pass Celio, who lost positions to Stark and Anderson. Torrente does it, he passes Celio into 6th. But look at Alkamzi, the Emirati driver is going head-to-head with Anderson. He does it, already moving up into 2nd position, great racing. There's a yellow flag! It's a crash at the back of the field! Sukbangbang crashes out of the race, and with the first lap not yet completed, that means drivers will revert to their starting positions. All that hard work by Tani Alkamzi and Sean Torrente will be undone. The Thai rookie was unhurt. Here it is on the replay. Sukbangbang fighting with Eric Eden on that turn. Eden pushes out. The Thai Maverick racer barrel rolls. Here it is from the onboard. Barrel rolls and ends right side up. The race is over for him and it's a yellow flag. The boats go back to the starting grid order, ready for the rolling start, waiting for the green flag. Terrible luck for Alkamzi, who had moved up into 2nd. Torrente also back to 7th, and he has to do it all again. There's the green flag, the race is back on. Eric Stark out in the lead as the Titan field converges on the buoy. Incredible speed from Jonas Anderson. He's putting the pressure on Eric Stark. Can Anderson catch the race leader? Stark with a very tenuous lead under pressure from his former Team Sweden teammate. Behind them, Sean Torrente back on the warpath as he passes Peter Marin, and up ahead on his starboard is Tani Alkamzi, who's also trying to do it all over again as he pushes for the top 3. They try and overtake Celio in 3rd on the inside, closing in on the Finn. Torrente and Alkamzi both on the outside. Incredible speeds from the 2 drivers as they show no signs of letting the yellow flag restart bother them. Alkamzi comes around and smokes Sami Celio, and his troubles aren't over as Torrente now swings around on the outside. Celio trying to fend the American off with the inside lane advantage. But Torrente is a man possessed, racing perhaps the most important race of his life. The 2 go neck and neck in a drag race for 4th position, and there he is on the outside, overhauling Celio, moving into 4th. Great racing from the Team Abu Dhabi drivers, up from 6 and 7 all the way to 3 and 4 after the restart, driving like true champions. Celio bumped back to 5th. Torrente dodges and weaves, looking for a way past the Emirati teammate. But Tani Alkamzi knows he needs to just stay ahead of Torrente and try and put at least one boat between them for a shot at the world title as a 2-time Sharjah Grand Prix winner shuts his teammate out in the race of his life. Their only risk now is engine and boat reliability with 44 laps in the race. Philip Roms in 7th position has a near miss with a buoy, swerves into the course, nearly taking out the Emirates Racing boats behind him. The light on this side of the course is very tricky with the spray and added factor. Then Roms misses the turn buoy, and that will be an additional penalty on top of the jump start. Amaravati driver Eric Eden is up 3 positions in 12th, and he makes a move on Bartek Marszalek, who's been struggling since the start. On the next lap, Eden continues his rise, taking down Moritz Stromoy to move into 10th. Having dropped a position in the restart melee, Alex Corella in 6th puts the pressure on Celio in 5th. The Victory Team driver finding the speed on the outside to slip past Celio in a battle of former multiple world champions. Catching up on Celio is another veteran who's been reaping good results lately, Francesco Cantando, putting the pressure on Celio for 6th. Can Celio hold off the 12-time Grand Prix winner Cantando? Marin back in 8th, still on track for points in all races this year, and on track to end the year in 4th. Philip Roms in 9th, Eric Eden in the points in the top 10, Marszalek and Stromoy struggling back in 11th and 12th. Cantando's teammate Simone Schuft of Germany is looking to complete her 3rd race in a row and even add some more points to Blaze Performance Team. Meanwhile, drama in a battle for 9th as 2 youngsters battle it out. Eric Eden slips past Philip Roms, the Swede steadily climbing up from 15th, gaining 6 positions, seeking to add points for Amaravati in the team standings. Meanwhile, last year's Sharjah Grand Prix runner-up Jonas Andersson keeps up the pressure on Eric Stark, but Stark is racing flawlessly, holding the Swede off lap after lap. Behind him is Daniel Kamzi, who knows if he could pass Andersson and put a boat between him and Torrente, he could win the world title here. But then the unthinkable happens. Daniel Kamzi comes to a grinding halt as Torrente flies past the struggling Emirati. What a cruel blow to Al-Kamzi's chances. It's all over. His hopes for the world title vanish. Shock and despair for him and his local supporters.
Engine, what happened? What I can say?
That means Torrente is now headed for the world title up in third. Even if Stark wins this, Torrente is the world champion, but he still has to finish the race and avoid any technical mishaps. Behind Torrente, Alex Carella moves up into fourth, just one step from a long overdue podium finish. But it was not to be. Carella fails to finish a sixth race in a row, and there has to be some soul searching now for Victory Team ahead of 2019. The top three remains Stark, Andersson, and Torrente. Torrente now sensing he's closer than ever to his first ever world title. Australian F1 Atlantic driver Grant Trask has proven he can race with the best of them in F1 H2O, but he's had a tough year. Still, he's aiming to climb as high up into the top 10 here as he can. Lap 28, the first DNF for Peter Marin all year, bringing a tough race to a premature end, but he's still on track for a year-end fourth position finish. With just 9 laps left in the race, Torrente knows he just needs to finish on point for a happy ending, but he still has the likes of Celio and Cantando on his tail. Out comfortably in the lead, despite Andersson's pressure, Stark on track for his third Grand Prix win of the year, but it must be bittersweet for him, and that DNF in Abu Dhabi will surely be weighing on him, wondering what might have been. Bad luck for Cantando, his run of good results ends here. The final laps now. Stark is holding Andersson off. There it is. Eric Stark, the Grand Prix of Sharjah winner, and Sean Torrente is the new 2018 UIM F1 H2O World Champion. What a result, and what a way to cap off a year for Team Abu Dhabi, who have towered head and shoulders over the season. Torrente celebrates in style. It's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of frustration and hard work to get there, and he's finally done it.
That was my wife. That was my wife.
A well-deserved world title for the man from Miami. Perfect race for Eric Stark and great finish for runner-up Jonas Andersson. He congratulates Stark after a hard-fought battle. Celio is fourth. Great result for Eden in fifth, up from 15th. Chiap 7th. Cedric De Guin gets 2 points for Maverick in 9th. Emirates Racing Team's Marshallek and Stromoy unable to finish the race. Torrente world champion with 89 points. Stark world runner-up on 85. Al-Kamzi world number 3 on 74. Marin finishes 4th, Chiap 5th, and Stromoy 6th. There's the victory lap for the new UIM F1 H2O World Champion Sean Torrente, and what a result and season for his crew at Team Abu Dhabi.
Had a really good start, got clean on the outside and got by Carella, and then Sammy got covered up by Tani, and I had a run on him on the front. He held it, and then going down that way, I just let it hang out there and just gave it all it had. I knew it was the race, and I got by him somehow. It didn't blow over, and got to the next corner, covered him up, and I knew at least I was in position to win the World Championship at that point.
In the team championship results, the points proved crucial for Amaravati, who end the year in third behind runners-up CTIC F1 Shenzhen China team, and of course, on top, Team Abu Dhabi.
It's mixed feeling. It's mixed feeling. I'm happy for Sean. I'm happy for the team. I did, I think, everything I could today. We had some bad luck in Abu Dhabi, and in Portugal I was not in the team, so I think since I joined Abu Dhabi I did a good job, and I hope I can stay with them for next year.
I had a setup to try to beat Eric in the start. I almost did it. We were side by side and I could not overtake him, so it is what it is. I'm very happy because my sponsor is here, and so it's fantastic.
Yeah, I do very well today in the race. This is the luck. Thank you, the God. He gave me this my position. I'm very happy today, and we try next year. We do all the best.
The team of the year, Team Abu Dhabi. The end of a fairy tale season with a world team title, the world driver title, and the year-end podium lockdown.
Every year we do this interview and we say, you know what, maybe next year we had a great year, but this year we say it's this year. 2018 world champion. No one can ever take that away. Thanks to my team here at the race, thanks to my team at home, and my grandfather also, looking down on us. So thank you for everything. I love you guys, and thank you for all the support of Abu Dhabi. Really, they support us so much. And we test tomorrow morning at 7 for next year.
Sharjah celebrates the close of another incredible season with a lavish feast to top off the 7th and final Grand Prix of 2018. That brings to a close a spectacular season for the UIM F1 H2O World Powerboat Championship. See you in 2019.